Hi everyone, thank you so much for clicking on my channel. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today. I'm going to be doing an eye makeup tutorial, but I'm going to talk you through my process, which is something I'm not usually able to do because I only have so many opportunities to do talk-through videos because I need lots of time and space where my children are quiet. So I don't always have those opportunities, but today is one of those glorious days where I get to do a talk-through makeup tutorial. So I'm planning on doing like a taupey, shimmery kind of an eye look, something very neutral to cool tone. It would look really pretty with cool toned colors like purples or blues or even certain pinks. I have definitely realized that many of the looks that I do on this channel are more neutral to warm toned, but I'm trying to branch out and realizing that not everybody wants warm toned looks. Some people are better suited for cool toned eyeshadows, and of course if you have an outfit that's more cool toned, you might want to lean towards an eye look that's also cool toned. I'm going to be using two palettes today. The first palette is my Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour palette. There are three quads in this palette. There is a neutral quad, a cool toned quad, and a warm toned quad. So I'm going to be picking colors from the cool tone quad. And the second palette that I'm going to be using today is the Morphe 35K palette, which has a nice range of warm, neutral, and cool tone shades. I have already primed my eyelids with concealer and set that concealer with powder. That's just going to give us a very even base to put our eyeshadows on. Putting a base on your eyelids just helps to cancel out any pigmentation that's already there, such as your veins or any discoloration, and it just lays a base and a foundation for your eyeshadows to stick to. Priming your lids is a very important step if you want your eyeshadow to last all day and also to prevent your eyeshadows from creasing on your lid. I'm starting off with my Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour palette and just grabbing a fluffy blending brush and dipping into this very soft taupey, almost gray color in the center here. Before I put any eyeshadow on my lid, I want to make sure that I tap off the excess so that I don't get any eyeshadow fallout on my face. Now I already have my foundation, concealer, powder, highlight, contour, all of that already on. So I want to be careful not to get any eyeshadow fallout on that. But if you do your eye makeup first, then you can easily just wipe away any fallout that you have and then go ahead and put on your foundation. So I'm going to start by sweeping this color directly into my crease. My crease is the socket of my eye here. Some people don't have a very defined crease. If you have more hooded lids, you may not be able to see your crease when your eyes are open and you're looking straight forward. If that's the case, then you want to bring your eyeshadow up above the actual socket of your eye because you want to create the illusion that the crease of your eye is higher and it will make your eyes look more deep set. There's a makeup artist here on YouTube named Stephanie Lang. I will link her channel down below. She has a whole series of tutorials on how to do makeup for hooded lids, and they're very, very informational. They teach you so much. So if you have hooded lids or if you're not sure whether or not you have hooded lids, be sure to click on her channel below. It will give you so much information on how to make makeup work for your eye shape. But if you're like me and you have a pretty defined socket, that's where your transition color or your crease color is going to go. Now I like to do my eyeshadow with my eyes open because that helps me to see exactly where the makeup is going and I know what it's going to look like as I'm talking to people. Obviously my eyes are going to be open. When I'm out and about and talking to people, I'm not going to have my eyes closed. So I want to make sure that it's going to look exactly like I want it to look. Now, that being said, I do tilt my head back just a little bit so I can get right into that crease because I do have a deeper set crease. Sometimes it's tricky for me to get in there if I don't tip my head back just a little bit. And I'm just going to go in windshield wiper motions, and then kind of on the outer corner, I tend to go in little circular motions. Now when I do makeup on myself, I usually stop with my eyeshadow about 3/4 of the way in because I don't necessarily have very wide set eyes and I don't want to make it appear that my eyes are closer together. So I'm going to keep the inner corners of my eyes open and bright with either no eyeshadow or lighter eyeshadows. If I bring a dark color into this inner corner, it's just going to make my eyes appear smaller and closer together, and that's not the look I'm going for. I actually kind of want to create the illusion that my eyes are wider and bigger and farther set apart than they are. So I'm focusing most of my eyeshadow to the outer third of my eyelid, and then whatever's left over on my brush, I'm kind of working inward. I tend to kind of blend my eyeshadow as I go. That's why I like to use a large fluffy blending brush, because I feel like it does a lot of the blending for you. But if you find that you're having a hard time with this line across the top of your eyeshadow, just grab a clean blending brush. The shape doesn't necessarily matter, although fluffy does matter. You want it to be fluffy. This one's just a little more tapered. And I'm just gonna go over the edges of that eyeshadow because I don't want there to be any visible lines. You want your eyeshadow to just almost disappear into nothing. So I'm gonna go right over the edge of that eyeshadow with a clean blending brush. And I'm telling you, if you have a hard time with your eyeshadow blending out, this is the best trick. Just grab a clean blending brush, go over the edges. It will save you every time. It will absolutely change your blending game. And whenever I'm blending out the edges, I always use a very light hand. Sometimes when you blend out the edges of your eyeshadow, you can lose some of the color or pigmentation that you've already placed. So I like to go back and repeat the same steps that I've already done because I'm slowly building up the color, but also blending it out at the same time. It's easier to blend your eyeshadows out as you go using this clean brush method than waiting all the way to the end when you're done with all of your eyeshadows and then trying to go in and blend out all your colors. Sometimes that will make your eyeshadow look muddy. So I like to do one color at a time, build up the color, blend it out, build it up, blend it out, before going in with another color. Another trick is to make sure that you're cleaning your brushes regularly, because if you're constantly doing your makeup with dirty brushes, it's just gonna end up looking muddy and your colors aren't gonna be as crisp and clear as they would be if you're using a clean brush every time. Now that we have our first color down, also known as our transition color, we can start to go in with darker colors on a smaller brush. Generally speaking, when you're doing your eye makeup, you want to start with your larger brush and a lighter eyeshadow, and then you can move on to a smaller brush and a darker eyeshadow. So I'm taking this smaller brush here and I'm dipping in to this darker taupey color. And again, I'm going to tap off the excess of that eyeshadow. Now there's a couple different ways that you can apply this second eyeshadow. The first way is that you could go directly into your crease, just in the same way that we did the first transition color, except with a smaller brush, you're going to keep it tighter into your crease and not bring it as high up as we brought the transition color. And this is just going to bring some definition and depth to your crease, especially if you don't have like an obvious or deep set eyes. That's really going to help create depth to your eye look. Since I already have pretty deep set eyes and I'm trying to create the illusion that my eyes are larger and wider set, I'm going to keep this color to the outer third of my eyelid here. And then as I have less eyeshadow on my brush, I will start to work it into the crease. So just starting on the very outer third of my lid here, I'm just gonna kind of start patting that color on and then blending it out in circular motions. I want to be careful to blend this color into my crease and not necessarily just slap it into my crease, because then I run the risk of accidentally bringing it too high. So I'm going to start pretty low on my eyelid here, just kind of patting it and placing it directly where I want it to be. And then once I've got my placement there, I can start to gently blend it out. I always find that if I hold my brush on the end here, I actually have a lot more control than if I try to hold my brush way up here. Plus it's harder to see because my hand is right in the way. So if I hold my brush all the way at the end here, it just helps me to see exactly what I'm doing, and it really just gives me better control over my brush. Now that I have less product on my brush, I'm going to start gently working it into the crease, but not going above my socket. Now I'm going to go back in with that clean blending brush that I used earlier, and I'm just gonna go around the edges of this eyeshadow, again making sure that there are no harsh lines and that everything is really diffused and really blended. So I have that second color all blended out now, and you could easily stop here and call this good. It looks absolutely beautiful. You could just put mascara on, you could put eyeliner on, you could put false lashes on. Anything you do from this point forward is just gonna look really beautiful, but I'm gonna take this a step further, and I wanna add a little bit of shimmer to my lid. So what I'm going to do is take a flat shader brush. This is just really stiff and dense, and it's gonna be really nice for packing color onto my eyelid. And so going into my 35K palette, I'm going to take this shimmery white shadow right here. And I'm just gonna put this on the inner corner of my eyes and really kind of keep this to the inner third of my lid because I really want to brighten this inner corner of my eye. I wanna keep this directly on my lid though. I don't wanna go up into this crease at all. And I'm just gently blending out the edges with this brush. I don't want to take this color in too far, but I also don't want there to be any harsh lines. So sometimes what I do is I just flip my brush over, and the clean side I just use to kind of blend out the edges. Now I still want to connect what I did on this outer corner and what I've done on this inner corner. So going back into this 35K palette, I'm going to mix this color right here and this color up here. This one's more of a taupey shimmer color, and this one kind of has a little bit of a silver shimmer to it. So I'm just gonna mix those two together. And I'm gonna use the same brush that I was just using. I'm gonna put this in the center of my lid, connecting that dark outer corner to that light inner corner. I'm going over the edges of the white and over the edges of the dark because I want to make sure it's blended, and I'm bringing this color all the way up to my crease but not into my crease. And then I'm going to go back in with this smaller blending brush that I used earlier, and I'm just going to blend those two edges together. The key to every good eye makeup look is blending between every step. And that is it for the upper lid, but I want to complete the look by adding some eyeshadow to my lower lash line. You could do black eyeliner in your waterline, or you could do nude eyeliner, or even a white eyeliner would look really pretty. I'm going to put a nude eyeliner in my lower waterline because since I did use darker eyeshadows, I want to keep my eyes looking open and awake. Rather than if I used black eyeliner in that waterline, it's going to make my eyes look more closed in. It's going to make the eye look more dramatic and more smoky than I'm going for. So I'm just going to use a nude pencil right in my waterline. And then taking a little pencil brush, I'm just going to grab that same Taupe-Gray color that we used in our crease as a transition color, and I'm going to gently smoke this on my lower lash line through the roots of my lashes. And I want to make sure that whatever I do on the bottom lash line connects to the eyeshadow that I have on the top. Otherwise you're going to have a weird gap on the side of your eye here, and we want everything to be really seamless and connected. And I'm taking this color about 3/4 of the way in because again, I'm trying to keep this whole inner corner very open and light and bright. And then going back into the Kat Von D palette, I'm grabbing this darker gray taupey color, and I'm just placing this on the very outer third of my lower lash line. And this is the finished eyeshadow look. You could totally add eyeliner to your upper lash line, a winged liner. I'm gonna skip that step for today because I think it just keeps the overall look softer. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some mascara and falsies on, and I will be right back. So I've just gone ahead and applied my favorite lashes and a nice cool toned lip. I will have all of the products that I'm wearing today linked down in the description box, so make sure that you check that out. I hope that you give this eye look a try. You could easily swap out any colors for this look. Just be sure to start with your lighter colors before moving in with your darker colors so that it makes everything blend out seamlessly. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did like it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you want me to do more in-depth tutorials like this where I walk you through every single step, please let me know in the comment section below. I love you all so much, and as always, I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.